Hey, good morning, everybody. Strategy. I'm going to talk about NVIDIA earnings, which are going to push the market. NVIDIA is going to move the market. NVIDIA itself will move 10% after hours. Positive, we'll talk about what that'll happen. Negative, we'll talk about that'll happen. Again, NVIDIA after hours today. But first, I want to talk about having a complete strategy. A complete strategy means be a good trader, be a solid trader. It doesn't mean you have to be an active trader. Remember, you're looking to get together and put together a complete strategy. So what is a complete strategy? What's a complete strategy mean? Let me explain. First, I have my expectation about the market. Okay, I think the market is opening higher for futures. We've seen it push down. It's likely to drop at open. We saw the trading yesterday. In fact, we've seen what happened the last 3 or 4 trading days dating back till Thursday. We definitely saw a morning dip, and then we saw support. So that's my strategy. Expectations of the market, dip and then grind higher. Okay, so what would that lead me to buy? Strategy number 2 would be calls. I would be looking to get in calls at the bottom. So the entry, part number 3, you want to look for support. So if you're looking at the SPY and you say, okay, maybe it's 435 on the SPY, maybe it's 436. Let me wait. Let me see, make sure I see it on the 1-minute chart. You want to see a reversal. If the market's dropping, you want to see a 1-minute reversal. Then you want to see the 3 minutes still show you that green candle to show you support. And then you wait. You wait for that double dip. You wait for the perfect entry. I'm going to give you an example of that with my Alibaba trade yesterday that I was just so proud of. One contract, but I was proud of it. And then an exit strategy. What are you expecting? And I'll mention my Alibaba trade again, because exit strategy, if I'm expecting the market to drop at open, hypothetically today, because the US dollar is spiking, then I would say Alibaba's up 0.5% pre-market. Let me take 25% on that trade. Let me plan ahead. And before 9:30 happens, I will set my sale order at 25% of my trade. If I'm in at 207, then my exit's going to be like 258, 259. If we get that spike on open and then a dip, again, I will be out. So I'm going to talk about that as well. Yesterday, I sold. I made 77% on my account. And let's talk about Nike. Nike down 9 straight days. Whoa, Nike down 9 straight days. Guess what? Nike's down 3% pre-market this morning. So that'll be 10 straight days. Okay, so we're talking about a complete strategy. That's what I want to teach this morning as we go out of the gate. And then I'm going to talk about what I think the SPY is going to do today and how I am personally going to trade it. So let's go over to yesterday. Yesterday, I mentioned these SPY calls. I think I was in at what, holy shit, I don't even remember. $1, where did I go in? Oh, $1.33, $1.71. Okay, I was holding 7, and my average was $1.71 on the Robinhood account. It was up to 304. Yesterday, pre-market, I mentioned I thought the market was going to dip off open yesterday. I was looking for the best case scenario. I was looking for $500 a contract, okay? We didn't see that. Again, I was expecting a dip yesterday as the market started, so I got that right. So I saw $410. I ended up getting $400 per contract. But again, I was planning ahead and watching. Now, I tried to get into this BABA contract yesterday morning, all right? I missed it. So what did I do? I went a week out. Originally, I was going to pay $209. I finally got it filled at $207. I showed everybody right after I got it filled. $203 was the low on the day. Again, this was yesterday morning, all right? So why I like this trade. The algos, the flows were supporting it. I went back to the 1-week chart. On the 1 week, you could see the bottom of the trade was 211. Again, I got in at 207. The low on the day was 203. At that time, I think it went down to $2 at some point later in the day. The high of the previous week, again, go back a week, 445. So it tells me if I'm in at 2, I'm looking to get out somewhere between, $3 and $4 on this trade. Again, it was $2. I was tempted to buy another option, and I showed everybody where it closed. My point in showing everybody this is my strategy. That's how I put together. I'm glad you are here today, sir or ma'am, maybe sir. I don't know because we haven't spoken. But you got absolutely clapped yesterday. Today is already looking better. Okay, so here's the case. I saw you on Discord, and I saw you looking at the flows and algorithms room, and I saw you looking at the SQQQ, which is the triple inverse of the Qs. Understand, most people that play SQQQs only play calls. So when you see calls are through the roof and nobody is playing puts, if you checked out TQQQ, you would see calls through the roof and probably no one playing puts. So that could be deceiving. That's what I wanted to make comment today. And we're going to talk about a bunch of other things. NVIDIA after the bell today. Good morning. What's up with Tesla? Can we look at dark pool levels? Yeah, we'll do that. I was just going to ask about Tesla coming down from here. Okay, so yeah, why not? Let's talk about Tesla. Let's look at the dark pool levels. I've got Discord up. Let me just pull up Tesla. I've got it at the bottom. Yesterday, what was the total uptick yesterday? It went as high as 240, closed at 233. This morning, we're back at 227. Understand, okay? Now, this is the way I look at Tesla, just from that perspective. Tesla opening at 227.77 right now. Yesterday's low was 229.55. Shit, that sounds kind of bearish. We're already past yesterday's low. The market hasn't opened. We saw tech struggling yesterday. The U.S. dollar is going up this morning. So again, if the U.S. dollar stays where it is right now, which is close to 104, 103.95, and again, I pointed it out on Discord yesterday so that everybody was prepared. I mean, if the market is fading higher, here's two things I want to point out, okay? So I'll share my Discord with you guys. Again, pointed out yesterday. Let's just go to my room. Here we go. When we have extremely light volume, and again, we were past 12:22 p.m., and we're hitting a number that we usually see around 11:15, 11, something a.m. Sorry. And if we see this number by 10:40, it's an extreme busy or high volume day. If it's a low volume day, you're likely to see drops of 1.5 to 2 points. Similarly, you could see spikes, but in this market, it's more likely to drop because there's downward pressure as the US dollar is going higher. So again, me holding a position in Alibaba this morning, pre-market, or we're talking about Tesla, but me holding my position, what am I likely to do? Alibaba's up 0.6% to start off the day. I'm probably going to secure 30% right out of the gate. It'll probably go up to like $88.80, and then maybe dip back to $87 and change. But I'm looking to get out screwed up. But about Tesla, you're seeing Tesla pre-market below yesterday's lows. All right. So again, low volume, anything's possible. All right, let's bring up the Discord again so I can just share that. I'll make myself real small. All right, for Tesla, what am I going to do? So the first thing I'm going to do is go up to the Flow and Algos room. If you don't know how to use this room, you can go to the how-to. The how-to is a whole 7 different, explanations on how to best use the Flow and Algos room so you can get the same information that the institutions. We had a member join yesterday just for institutional feeds. It's $25 a month. We use TradyTix. TradyTix charges like $100 a month. So there's a discount right there. And I think this is the person I was talking to. Yes, it is. See, they're looking at the flow sum for the SQQQ. Again, SQQQ is a bear ETF, triple bear the Qs. You're only going to see people buy calls and sell calls, okay? Same with TQQQ. You're going to see only calls mostly. Same as this. It's probably going to be a ridiculous ratio. So don't think this means, tech has to go down. But we can look at that in an instant. Let's look at Tesla first. We want to look at the dark pool levels of Tesla. And again, there was a huge gap at 228 previously when we were at 242. And I said 228, huge gap down till there. And where do we see? We saw 225. I know it's gone lower, but I'm talking about when we're still in that bull run. All right, so when we're looking at Tesla, make sure you guys are looking at me with me. You are. All right, we're seeing 240, 120, close to the high yesterday, rejected. Then you're looking at about 236. These are all inflection points, meaning if you see Tesla get to 236, it could easily reject because that's a dark pool level. Volume could be added to the market, and you can see it go down. These are just where I expect to either see your support or rejection. So the fact that we're trading at 220, I mentioned pre-market, I would look to see if Tesla holds 225.50. In fact, you can go plus or minus 20, 30 cents when you're talking about Tesla. So I would say, is Tesla going to hold 225? If it breaks down below 225, then you're going to see $220 today. And understand, if you see 225 not hold on Tesla and you see 220, then the rest of the market's going to follow. You're going to see Tesla down 4%. You're probably going to see Apple down 1.2%. You'll see the SQQQs spiking. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, Tesla could easily hold pre-market 227, find support at 230, and then go up to 236 before it rejects. So your bull case scenario for Tesla is you're going to see 241 again today. Your bear case scenario is I hope it doesn't hold 225. We're going to see 220. And if we see 220 on Tesla, understand the Qs are going to be under 363, which is a key level. All right, so that's what I wanted to talk about. There's some other instances I wanted to talk about So let me just bring up some other news stories and things that I saw. The dollar, I mentioned the dollar. Futures were ripping. Understand, futures were ripping last night. As soon as the market closed at 8 p.m., futures were ripping higher. The U.S. dollar has taken them down. I was looking at, you know what? I could show you on Discord, or I could just tell you. I was looking at KWeb. They were selling a bunch of call options. If they're selling it, someone's buying it. That's why I am okay with China. China was down 24% in about 5 or 6 weeks. All right. The Chinese government, let's remember, years ago, they actually bought up almost the entire stock market when China was struggling. So I'm assuming some shady shit's going to go on, and China's government will step in, show support, the same way our government did during the pandemic when they were inflating their balance sheet. So I assume the same thing's going to happen in China. So I'm looking at KWeb. Also, I saw on the flows and algorithms, what was it? An option, what was it? Option, a golden sweep. Or an option sweeps. I saw one of them for KWeb yesterday, so it got interesting. I went into Alibaba. Now, here's what happened yesterday, which kind of hurt the market as well. S&P downgraded 5 U.S. banks, including Comerica, KeyCorp, Valley National, citing tough operational conditions. People are fearful they're going to downgrade some of the larger banks as well. Here's another interesting thing. We know that ARM, chip maker, is going to file for an IPO September 24th, okay? And it's expected to bring in 60 to 80 billion. Now, here's the thing. ARM's year-over-year revenue down 1%. Net income for the year, 524 for the quarter. 524 million, right? Which is about 2 billion for the quarter. So ARM does about 2 billion for the year. 2 billion for the year. And they think they're going to get a valuation of 60 to 80 billion. Okay. I assume the day that ARM starts trading, we're going to see it shoot up and then shoot down. You can't really short a stock like that when it gets introduced. I mentioned Alibaba. I showed you guys the trade. Yesterday's volume I mentioned was extremely light. Here's the thing. A couple days ago, I mentioned on Twitter, 30-year mortgage rates, 7.48, highest since December of 2000. A year ago, it was 5.5%. Okay, I think they're down at 7.35 this morning. But what the hell does that mean? It means for the average person that buys a $400,000 house, puts down 20%, has a 30-year mortgage, you're going to pay an extra $420 a month over last year, which was extremely high already. Yesterday, made 77% on my account. How did I do that yesterday? I told you, I sold it open. All my shit was spiking pre-market. I said, I'm going to secure profit. Somebody said to me, if you think this SPY is going to $444, why the hell are you going to secure profit? Well, I'm going to secure profit because just because I think it's going to happen doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. Just because what could happen? The dollar could spike. The 2-year, the 10-year could spike. There could be some other news. Just because I think something's going to happen doesn't mean. Same way NVIDIA has earnings today, okay? Estimates, $2.07 a share, all right? I think they're going to come in closer to $2.28 a share. Let me just see if I have that information here that I wanted to share with you all. I don't think I saved it. Nope, I didn't save the NVIDIA information. Sales, I think, are estimated 11.04 billion. I think they're going to come in around 11.08 billion. So here's the thing, all right? NVIDIA comes out with earnings after the bell, estimated at $2.07. Let's say I'm correct. Let's say they come out at $2.24 or $2.28. Is that enough for the market to shoot it up 10%? Or does NVIDIA actually have to be perfection, meaning has to beat by 20%, sales over sales, revenue, all these numbers, expectations, guidance? Does it have to crush it in order for NVIDIA to go up? If they fall in line, if they slightly beat on both, is it possibility that NVIDIA shoots down? A lot of institutional investors are mixed on this. I spoke to my friends because I was like, I just don't know. I might not carry any positions overnight tonight because NVIDIA will push the market. If they don't like NVIDIA's earnings and it's down 8.96% overnight, what do you think is going to happen to the rest of the market? Crushed. But that might be a buy the dip mentality going into Thursday. So I'll save my money for Thursday. Likewise, if NVIDIA spikes off earnings, you see $515 tomorrow and everything's crushing it pre-market tomorrow, they might say, you know, it's like buy the rumor, sell the news. NVIDIA crushed 515. It might shoot down from 515 to 480s after crushing it on earnings. And then what's going to happen? The rest of the market, just like yesterday when NVIDIA lost 20 points or something like that, you'll see it come down. So Let's see what else we got. I was going to ask about Tesla. It makes sense. I mostly got him because you see, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Again, if you see the dollar coming down to 103.50, where it was yesterday at like 12 noon, then understand the market has the ability to strengthen. The market has the ability, and you were watching pre-market, which I showed you guys. I think the SPY was up 0.6 or 0.7%. The Qs were ripping it overnight, 0.83% to the higher side. So I'm not sure where they are right now, but let's look at that. In fact, let's talk about some stocks that I have on my watch list. Please, if you like what I'm doing, hit that like. Yes. Okay. First on my watch list was Nike. Why? I just made a post about it. Nike is down 9 straight days. Without even looking this morning, I assumed today would be day number 10. When I looked at Nike pre-market, again, I don't have a position. It's down 3%. So today's going to be day number 10 for Nike to go down. If it goes down 10 days in a row, guess what? Probably going to go down 11 days in a row. I mean, that's just it. Follow the leader. So I'm going to get to my other stocks. Do you want to answer this one question? Any thought on the housing market? Think it might go under? No, because here's what's happening in the housing market right now. Although rates are going up, inventory is going down. People that are selling their homes are going down, or buyers are stepping up, but I don't think buyers are stepping up right now unless you have all cash. The point is, I saw a 14% drop in inventories. And people say, well, look at Airbnb. It's destroying Ohio. It's destroying Texas. Yes, there are some states in Airbnb and houses on the market, and people are buying houses just to turn them into Airbnbs, and it's becoming overrun. I get that, and that's going to stop. That'll hurt the housing market, but it will also lighten up and make more inventory available because some of those people that got in will be selling. So no, I don't think the housing market is necessarily going under. Let's get back to my stock list. Nike, 9 days in a row. Now, it doesn't mean they're not buying Nike. Here's the thing. Do you see 10 outflow days in a row? No, you see green, red, green, green, green. So 3 out of the last 5 days, they're actually buying Nike. They're paying the ask when they're buying. It means the stock could go down. If you see inflow, it means I'm buying and I'm paying the ask. If somebody is selling shares, I want out, I'm going to sell at his bid, at their bid. That means outflow because I'm selling at the bid. I can't wait to get rid of my shit. If I'm buying the ask, it's inflow, even if the stock is going down. So please, a lot of old traders and new traders do not understand that. They're like, if there's inflow, why is my stock going down? Well, people are buying that shit up as it's going down. They're like, okay, well, 17.50, I'll buy it 17.35. That's how it's going down. It's to 17.35, but I'm buying at 17.35. It's still inflow because I'm buying. So hopefully that you understand that. All right, so we talked about Nike. K-Web, which is China. Again, this I made a couple postings about this on Twitter, moomoo, obviously Discord. It's getting interesting because China is flattening out, and I expect China to rebound. China went up 1.5% 2 days ago. Yesterday or overnight, it went up like 0.43%. So again, China is flattening out, and I expect the Chinese government to step in. However, if our markets get hit hard, then understand all stocks will go down. But again, right now I'm in Alibaba. I'm perplexed because I'm like, do I hold on my Alibaba? I think the market's going to dip this morning, but I think China is going to be strong. My Alibaba expires next week. It's the $89 calls. I got in at $2.07. I'll probably trade it today. If I do sell, and I'll look to get back in. If I sell, I'm open at $2.80. I'll look to get back in at $2.07 again because I like the trade and it goes out enough time. If I can get in cheaper, because I'm not going to press things today. Remember, patience. That's what I'll do as well. Okay, so SPY is up 0.12. Again, SPY was up 0.63% pre-market before the US dollar spiked. The Qs are up 0.19%. Again, they were up 0.83% before the US dollar spiked overnight. So be careful because if the US dollar goes down, I will tell you the SPY and the Qs will go back up to those zones. Just like I know Alibaba, which is up 0.6% pre-market, will go back up to 1.2% where it was pre-market before, again, the US dollar spiked. So again, not really sure. NVIDIA. Okay, now people, back to NVIDIA. People think NVIDIA is going to drop or pop, whatever. Some people on X or Twitter are showing postings. Look at all these put options coming in. Understand the call options of NVIDIA are just as strong. In fact, let's do this together, just so everybody has a grasp on what they might expect from NVIDIA today. So we'll go down and we're going to look at net flow for NVIDIA. We'll go back, let's say 5 days, and then we're going to look at the flow sum for NVIDIA. Hopefully this shows up. Sometimes when I do it in the morning, it's just overrun because there are just so many people typing commands. So we'll see if that works. All right. We didn't get the flow sum data. We did get the net flow. I was really hoping to show you guys the flow sum. It'll show you, how many options are open. The great thing about the flow sum is it tells you, oh, it's 75% calls, but then it'll show you 75% of the people are selling the calls, which actually would be bearish and not bullish in that market. Okay, so what else do I have on my list? The SOX L. I've got NVIDIA. NVIDIA was up 2% pre-market. The whole thing is NVIDIA is going to move. This is the great thing about trading NVIDIA, and you could do this today. Going into earnings, NVIDIA, and I did this with Netflix a while ago, and I crushed it for more than I would have crushed it through earnings. If I can get NVIDIA at the bottom today, I will buy calls going into the close and sell right before the close or sell at 3 p.m. If I get NVIDIA at the bottom today, let's say it drops today to 448, and then all of a sudden it bounces higher to 450, I'll buy it at 450 and I'll ride that shit to 462 by close and get out before earnings so I don't have to risk it going to either 512 or back down to 410. I mean, again, IVs are going to go up towards the end of the day as well. So, I mean, even if the video stayed at 456 all day, which is impossible for it to do, let's just say it stayed right here. Those option contracts end of day are probably going to spike up another 10 or 15% just on the IVs going into earnings. So, okay, what else is on my list? Palantir, again, I exited out yesterday. I got $15.10 or exited out of my options at that time. They closed at $23 the day before. I got $48 on exit. The high was $50. Okay. So I got 100% return on those yesterday. Now, it wasn't 100% of my account because I was in for an average of 43 on my larger account. So getting out at $48, I made about 11%. And I did not buy any more when they were down at $23 or even $18 because it would have been risky. If I was wrong, I would have blown up, the account or blown up those positions, not the account because I only had, a few $1,000s. Energy, Shopify, not really looking at that. UVXY, understand if UVXY, if the markets drop, you can get a good, 10% spike back to $19.80 on UVXY. However, if the markets turn green today, what can you see? The UVXY could drop back down to like the 17 flat level, which would be a whole $1.42. So, I mean, again, if you're bullish to the market, you could be in UVXY puts. And even if the market just hangs out, let's say it just hangs out right where it is all day, 438, 52 all day. If it's not dropping, the UVXY is meant to go down. So again, on the net flow charts, what was that question? On the net flow charts, if there's more calls than puts, why is the red line higher? I'm slightly confused. I'm slightly confused at your question. But again, let's say calls are higher. Let's say they're almost all calls, right? Then you have to look at the other side and see if they're buying or selling. Because understand, if I'm an institution, right, and there's only 100 calls, let's just say all 100 calls, I sell them to you. I'm selling you calls because I think this stock has maxed out. I'm banking the premium. I'm assuming the stock's not going to go up another 3%. If it goes up 1%, I still hold my stock. So again, if I'm selling you calls, I'm banking premium. It means, if anything, I'm a little bearish. I'm securing premium on my position, which I'm still holding on. I give myself 1% higher to go up, but likely if it just hovers here or goes down, I'm just banking your premium. So again, some of these charts can be a little tricky. Make sure you read the how-tos. Make sure you give yourself, when I look at net flows, I always look at the net flow for the day. I go out 3 days on the net flow so I can see, is it just a small, am I zooming in, just looking at today going, wow, it looks bullish. And then I look out 3 days and I'm like, wow, this is really bearish. And while it's being bullish for that one day, I can get into positions. All right, so let's get back to a couple things on my watch list. PayPal score. See, the whole thing about today is, I guess you don't really need a watch list because the whole thing is NVIDIA. All right. Watch NVIDIA today. If you see it bottom at 446 and then shoot up to 462, everything in their mother is going to go up. If you see it go up to 462 or even 464 in the morning and then shoot down and close to 445, everything's going to be going down. And everything that happens overnight and heading into tomorrow is going to be based on NVIDIA. And it's terrible to say that one company could either drop the market or support the market. But if you don't know which way NVIDIA is going, or you don't have an inkling, again, I think they're going to beat earnings. I still think they could drop because market sentiment is they have to nail earnings perfectly. And I'm not sure that is feasible, especially after the last quarter. All right, with that said, I'm heading over to Discord. Everybody is welcome to join me. I don't think we saw it yet, so I'm going to put it up there. Platform.com. Here is how to Find us on Discord. All right, soc-platform.com. Let's get another question right here before we take off. Matt, I know you cover SPY levels mostly, but any thoughts on Qs being below significant? Yes. So here's the thing with the Qs. I've been watching at this level for a month. And again, it's rarely that we're right at this 363 level. But 363 on the Qs for me was either major support. And again, we're going back 2-3 months. So things definitely changed. Dark pool levels definitely changed. But psychological levels, it's like when the SPY hit 400, it would reject or find support on 400. 363 is that level for me. And if you see the SPY, if I see the Qs going into 362.18 and they look like they're going down, understand they're going to go the whole 3 points down to 360 or even 359. All right. So, I mean, that's just my thoughts. Do I think that's going to happen? Again, the U.S. dollar spikes. If it goes to 104.12, then yeah. If it comes back to 103.58 today at some point during the day, guess what? The market's probably going to be higher. All right. And everybody's like, well, of course it's going to spike. We're going into Jackson Hole, right? Meetings today and tomorrow for the Fed. So, yeah. I mean, that's why people are on edge. That's why the U.S. dollar is going up. That's why the 2-year, the 5-year, the 10-year are all going higher because of Jackson Hole. Once the Fed starts speaking, if the rates come down, the market will shoot up. Simple fact, be careful with NVIDIA earnings.